Hello everybody, my name's Nicola and welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage where we talk all things money to help you on your financial journey. Today's video is my cash envelope stuffing for the last week in April. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let's get started. So yes, it's the last week of April coming up, so I thought I'd share with you what we're going to spend this week. As always, it's the same 5 cash envelope categories that I use a week in, week out, and it's the same planner binder as always. Who else finds it really difficult to believe that we're already nearly at the end of April? I feel like April's gone by so quickly. It just feels like the rest of the year is going to fly by. But we'll see anyway. So yeah, so in the end of April. So as always, I'll leave a link below to the binder and the envelopes, but let's take those out. I'm going to talk as per usual about food, petrol, miscellaneous, children and eating out. And I have actually taken all the cash out of these already before I started. It was mainly change in these ones this week, rather than any kind of big amounts of money. But here we go. So food, as always, food in our household. I say this every week, and you know, if you watch these regularly, and thank you for keeping on coming back, and I keep saying the same thing, food for us is around the same number, although I do find that as the weather gets warmer we do spend slightly more, and I was kind of tracking as to why that was, and one of the reasons is we eat a lot of fruit as a family. And I'm happy with that, but the fruit that we eat in the summer months, or the warmer months should we say, changes and it is more expensive. So instead of buying like apples and satsumas and pears, and we always buy bananas anyway, I've been buying things like melon and strawberries and raspberries and blueberries. Now they are kind of fruits that are more expensive, so it does kind of tend to push our weekly food shop amount up just that bit higher, but I am not gonna not buy those just because it kind of stretches the budget a bit more. I'm quite happy to buy all those different kind of fruits. It's good, you know, they're good for you, they're healthy, the boys love them, but it is a noticeable change in how much I spend in the shop, and that's been the kind of the past couple of weeks. I've kind of made that switch from the, I guess, the more seasonal things I'm talking about. So obviously apples and pears and things are more kind of autumnal, winter fruit, maybe more so than strawberries, and I know you can get strawberries and raspberries and things like that all year round, but I tend to buy them in the summer months. So for the food budget, as always, I'm going to put in £60 in here again and see. We really I think there was about 80 pence left in the food envelope by the end of the week this week, so we are, like I said, we are kind of going more towards that at the moment. It is kind of swings and roundabouts, so some weeks we won't go anywhere near that, and other weeks we're really close to kind of spending every single penny, and that's okay, that's what it's there for. So £60 goes in the food envelope. So £60 has gone in the food envelope there. That should do us for the week ahead. I don't have any plans particularly to buy much extra. Also, another thing, talking about things that you add on in the kind of the warm months, the boys are already asking for ice creams all the time, so I feel like I might have to get some of like the supermarket ones. So I'm sure most supermarkets do these, but Morrison's do like their own version of, say, Magnums or Cornettos or things like that, and they are cheaper, and you can get like mini versions, so I'm going to do that, I think. So I expect that the majority of that £60 will go again, but we'll see. So that's £60 in the food budget envelope there. Petrol, as always, so petrol, we are doing slightly more travelling on a weekend now that we can go places, which is, it's lovely to get out and having a change of scene. You know, it does wonders for mental health and that kind of stuff. But that being said, it does obviously have an impact. So I'm going to put £30 in petrol this week. It's just over a quarter, I think, at the moment in there. So £30 in there. We'll fill that up nicely for a week ahead. And someone was like, why don't you let it go so it's much more empty? And I've talked about this before, and in theory, yes, because your car is lighter because it's not carrying around so much fuel, it's better for it apparently. However, I do not like getting too low on the petrol. I never ever or very rarely ever let it get so the red light comes on, because that causes me, I just don't like it, the feeling of that red light being on. So I tend to, if you've not noticed, I am kind of quite methodical in every week I do certain amounts, and petrol is one of them regardless of how full or empty it is. So I've put £30 in there, and that should take us to kind of a full tank pretty much. So that's petrol. Miscellaneous, I have recently bought quite a few kind of household things in here, but I'm going to put £20 in anyway. Again, this was another envelope where it was fairly empty this week. I'm going to put £20 in there as always, just in case. I'm going to put that in there. £20. I don't think I have particularly anything to buy in there this week, but we'll see. I'm trying to think whether I need any kind of household stuff or cat things or general. No, I don't think I do, you know. Watch this space, but I don't think I need much from the miscellaneous envelope this week, which is always nice. Children's budget. If you watched this last week, I said I was going to put £20 in here and I would finally spend it this week because they've finally got their haircut, and I did. That £20 has gone on their haircuts, which I'm more than happy about. They can see properly now their hair is not in their eyes, and it's, you know, it makes such a difference, and it has been, I cannot remember the last time it wasn't me trying to cut their hair, and let me tell you, that was not the biggest success. But I'm going to put £20 again in their envelope, just for things like if we're going out for the day, they might want ice creams or they might want little bits and pieces. So £20 goes in there, and that stays in there until I spend it. I'm trying to think if we're even going anywhere this week, and I can't think of anywhere. I guess it is dependent on the weather at the moment a bit more, because we still can't go inside places very often, can you? So we'll see. And then eating out, again, kind of linked to if we're going out for the day. And we put £20 in here in case we want to get anything to eat whilst we're out. Or if you know me by now, you'll know me that some of that might go on a sneaky Costa for me, but we'll see. So £20 in eating out as well. I don't really put £20 in there very often, but you know, things are starting to reopen, we're going more places, and I don't know about anybody else if you've noticed, but I do feel like we're already spending more money on kind of little things more often. I suppose, you know, it's been over a year since this all started, and it's now kind of getting back to or figuring out what your budget will be once everything is back to normal. And if you follow me on social media, I've got my social media links below if you want to follow me on those. But I talked about the fact that actually it will start to be more spendy just because you are able to do things that you weren't before, and that's okay. But to recap, I've got £20 in eating out, £20 in children's, £20 in miscellaneous, £30 in petrol, and £60 in food, and they are my cash envelopes for the week ahead. And yeah, like I said, especially in the summer month, I don't know if anybody else feels like this. Please let me know in the comments below if you feel like this too. I feel like I spend more in the summer months than I do in the winter months. In the winter months, I tend to be at home, especially, you know, in January when we were back in lockdown and couldn't go anywhere again. That was really easy to be at home and not spend money. I find that I do spend, and it's not on like material things, it's things like when we're going out for the day and we need entry money, or you want to get like an ice cream or a drink or whatever while we're out. It's things like that, and I don't begrudge spending the money at all. Part of our early retirement thing is all about creating memories, spending time with family. It's not that, but it means that your budget as a household, I suppose for us, has to be somewhat flexible in terms of some months are naturally going to be more spending than others, and that's okay. How are you getting on with your budget? Let me know down below how you're getting on. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.